have a mini, a top row, and a bottom row, you need to label the bottom row in a bottom Ziploc bag and write bottom. And a top row mean up here, this would be bottom row, which is the closest in your nape. They need to go in separate Ziploc bags saying top and bottom. You will take little scissors that you have, either hopefully not kitchen scissors, but if you have little scissors, maybe like a sewing kit or something of the nature. We are using scissors like this. Make sure you can see that. Your little sewing scissors. Okay. Now we'll let it focus back on your head. Okay. For one, you will start on the left side. It doesn't really matter which side you start on, but we like to start on this side. This is the first bead, the anchor bead. Generally, there's string in between the row and the bead. You will take the string in between the row and the bead and cut that, and it will come apart. And then you'll cut the other string that is attached to that bead, and that bead will become free from the row. Okay? Then it will become a lot easier because the row will become detached from the beads as we move along. Let me make sure that's getting it. Yep. Okay. I think I'm going to move it a little bit closer on the other ones, but I'm going to keep it right here. See this string here from the bead to the row? You're going to cut that string. That this bead is now away from the row. And now the next string has come up. Bead, string, row, cut. There it is. You're keeping these stitches on the row intact. If you are someone that has to cut a stitch to get to a bead, that is okay, as long as you keep the row intact and how it is stacked like this. If you cut all the stitches apart, if you can, try to keep the row together and put it in the back. Mind you, this video is for extreme circumstances that you absolutely have to take your row out. As a hairdresser, I would suggest you do not, but if you are past a week mark that you feel uncomfortable, or it's starting to bother you, or your hairdresser is also suggesting that you cut your row out, please do. Okay, so here's the thing. A string has entangled with hair, the stitch. You can see it kind of stuck here. So that at that point, you can take the stitch that is on the weft, the row, and you can cut it. And it frees the hair that was stuck in there. Turn just a little bit more. Can you hang on to the bottom of this row? It's really heavy. So you're going to ask the person that is having their row taken out, hang on to their row, because their row does get heavy and it pulls on the hair. So I'm making sure, as you can see here, get the hair out of the way, there. I can see the string, not cutting our natural hair or the extension hair, and getting that away from it. Taking the last one off. This one generally has 2 strings that you have to cut. There it is. The whole row is taken apart. So at this point, you would make sure that you're like, is this the bottom or the top row? You would take this row here. You would then put it in a Ziploc bag and label this as bottom row or top row so that your stylist is not confused as to which row it is. Now, you can see that her hair is grown out. great grow out. The row is completely off. At this point, if you absolutely had to, you could leave your beads in, and your beads would be just fine like this. You would be able to hide them, and you could leave your hair at this point like this in a ponytail, but you wouldn't have your extensions in. If you are someone that has tools that are of a jewelry kit, you are only to do this if you understand what you are doing. Do you have the red pliers too?
I don't.
No? Okay, that's fine. I do in my bag. Okay, so these are the pliers that I use from Isla. They do come in a bead kit, but I don't know if Michael's or any of those places are open. If any of those stores are open, you can get that. Maybe even from your local like grocery store. So it has like a little nodule here that would open the bead. I don't know if you can see that. And I also will grab my other pliers. Mariah, will you just move your hair around so they can see that you can move your hair?
Like just move, like,
yeah, like your actual like touch it.
Oh,
and it's not gonna bother them if they have. Here, I got these.
You'll feel it, but
generally these pliers here are the type of pliers that you could use for jewelry. I don't know if these will focus or not. Come on, focus. Here, lean forward just a little bit. There you go. These pliers too, you would remove the bead up in here and they are flat. You are only to open the bead just slightly and then you slide it off. If you crush the bead, leave it in the hair. We will remove it when we are back up and running. Okay, so I'm going to show you from the middle. Here's a bead. The bead is flat this direction. It is horizontal and parallel to the ground. You're going to take, if you find pliers like this, let's see if we can do it. Take the pliers like this and you will put it inside the grooves. Like this. You are to only push a little bit. Just opened a tiny bit. You then take the bead off. The bead is removed. Okay, I'm going to show with the other one. You're going to take, see this bead is now horizontal and also parallel to the ground. I'm going to show it with these pliers. These ones are a little bit harder because there's no groove. And they use them for glue. So open just a little bit, slide off, remove. See that? I'm going to do one more. These I've seen at Michael's, at Hobby Lobby, all those places. I do not know if they're open, but if you'd find them, you might even be able to find them at your local grocery store. Open just a little bit. See how it's gone round. Take off. Remove the bead. There you are. I'll do one more with these ones. Turn your head this way. Open. Just a little bit. You're only pushing a little bit. It's not even fully round. You do not need to see a round circle. There we go.